Hi, I'm Aaron from Solace. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the hands-on configuration for building an event mesh using Solace technology. So before I get into the hands-on configuration, let me quickly describe what an event mesh is. Now, I could read this definition, but that'd be really boring. So I'm just going to use a few slides to help visualize what an event mesh is and what it can do. It's an architectural layer that sits above your network and enhances its capabilities to allow your distributed applications, microservices, and IoT devices to talk to each other in a decoupled and dynamic way using the publish-subscribe communication pattern. At its core is the event broker, and this is where your applications actually connect into. So consuming applications will register subscriptions of interest, and publishers, whenever they send data or events, the broker will route that to the consuming applications based on those subscriptions. So as load starts to increase on your brokers, an event mesh can actually be used to horizontally scale. By clustering your brokers together, subscription information is shared amongst them, such that when a consuming application comes online and subscribes, that subscription will be propagated through the mesh, and if data is being published elsewhere, that data will still flow through the mesh and arrive at the consumer, regardless of whether on the same broker or not. But what if you had to send your data much farther away? Say you had applications in New York, other applications in London. An event mesh would be an easy way to bridge data between them and connect them. When an application in London subscribes, that data would just automatically start flowing across the WAN. And because data is only sent when it's being requested or subscribed to, it's very efficient from a bandwidth point of view. And no matter how many consumers in London are actually requesting it, that data is only sent once. Now, what if you wanted to use some machine learning or some AI in AWS, or maybe you just wanted to move your applications from your on-prem into the cloud? Using an event mesh, it gives you a very easy way to stream data between your on-prem and your cloud-based assets. But perhaps you have a requirement to be in more than one cloud. You have customers in Azure. You want to use like Bigtable and BigQuery and GCP. Using an event mesh gives you this ability to build a multi-cloud, hybrid cloud architecture. It gives you this uniform data fabric without having to rely on cloud-native services like Google Pub Sub or SQS or SNS in AWS. It allows you to write applications that will run anywhere, whether on-prem or off-prem. So there's a lot more to event mesh than that. There's governance and security, visibility, discovery. But today we're just talking about the data movement and how to configure it. So how do you build an event mesh? Well, in Solace, the feature that enables all this is called DMR, Dynamic Message Routing. And it's what we're going to talk about today, and it's what I'm going to show you right now how to configure. So let's get on with it. So first I'm going to show you how to configure DMR with Solace Cloud. If you're using our appliances or our software broker, including the fully free standard edition, I'll show you how to configure DMR for those afterwards. There's just an extra step involved. So first thing, log into your Solace Cloud account. Now, you're going to need multiple instances of your Solace brokers running to configure DMR links between. I've pre-configured 3 for the purpose of this demo. I have one in Montreal, one in Belgium, and one in Singapore. Now, if you click on the event mesh view, you can actually visualize what your mesh is going to look like. In a future version of Solace Cloud, this kind of graphical point-and-click interface is actually going to build all the DMR links automatically. But as of right now, there's still a little bit of manual configuration that we're going to do. Now, each of these links, each of these boxes specifies a cluster that's already been pre-configured by Solace Cloud. So all of the kind of cluster information, passwords, and everything are pre-configured. This is the extra step that we need to do on the software broker side when doing it manually. Now, I've opened the web managers for the 3 different brokers here. So here is Montreal, this one is Belgium, and here is Singapore. And I'm going to go ahead and create the first DMR link between Montreal and Belgium. So click on the Montreal one, go into Bridges, DMR Bridges, click to connect. Now, because I'm using Solace Cloud, I can just specify the account that I wish to connect with to go and find the various Solace Cloud instances that are available. So if you wanted to connect to a different Solace Cloud account, set up a DMR link to another one, you could. In the remote, so it knows which message VPN I'm currently in. I want to connect out to Belgium, tell it to connect to Belgium. It's going to go and look at the connection information for Belgium. Now, because it's using Solace Cloud, all of the kind of cluster password stuff is already pre-configured. So I'm just going to leave everything as default, except I'm going to turn on compression because we're going over the WAN. I could turn on TLS as well, but it's a little bit extra work. You have to enter kind of the domain name. Anyway, there we go. It's now configured and set up. And you can see here that, yep, my bridge is up. Cool. Now I'm going to speed up the video and go and create the other two DMR links. Okay, so there we go. I've now set up the 3 DMR links between my my 3 different brokers. So each broker is showing 2 links because we've connected each one to the other guys. Now it's at Solace Cloud. Now if you're going to be doing this with the software broker or the appliance, there's one extra step involved. So I'm going to show you that in a second here. So I have a local broker running on my laptop here. I got a couple message VPNs already pre-configured on it. So I'm going to go ahead and link my Aaron VPN here into my event mesh. So the first thing, or the one thing you have to do is manually create the cluster. This is something that Solace Cloud does automatically. So I'm going to say I want to create a new cluster. I'm going to call this SG Lab. Give it a password of something easy. Leave everything else as default. Click apply. Give that a refresh, and there we go. We're now up, and we are a standalone cluster that's just sitting here in the lab. Now I can go ahead and bridge into my event mesh. So click on bridges, go to DMR bridges, click to connect. Now I could of course use the Solace Cloud credentials, but we're pretending that we're connecting to another software broker, right? So if you were running this on another laptop or on a server, you would want to enter here. You have to enter the management password, username, password, and the admin username and password. So I've got it kind of copy and paste here. I'm just going to grab this, paste it in here. If you're just installing the software broker and kind of running it all with the defaults, this would probably be admin, but Solace Cloud generates these passwords. So there we go. We're going to log in here. I'm going to choose the message VPN that I want to. So if you had multiple message VPNs on your remote broker, you could choose which one you wanted to set up the DMR link into. Now the one thing to note here is which direction you're establishing the link from. Because I'm running this on my laptop, I need to establish it from my laptop and reach out to the cloud. The cloud would not be able to reach out and connect to my laptop because I'm behind a router and a firewall. So I'm going to leave it with local. So keep that in mind. If you're behind a firewall, you might need to make sure which direction you're connecting from. Now this is where I need the remote cluster password. So if you're the other side that you've configured, Solace Cloud again already pre-configures the cluster password there. So I'm just going to copy and paste that in. My local password is password, which you just configured. Turn on compression. Don't really need it since it's Singapore to Singapore, but let's go ahead and create that link and test the connection. All right, there we go. It is up and configured. So if we go and take a look at my Singapore broker here, head over to the bridges, click on DMR bridges. You can see that now I have actually 3 because I have my local lab, my laptop connected in, as well as my other 2 Solace Cloud instances. Okay, hopefully that helps you set up your own event mesh. Of course, you can fully automate the process using our RESTful management API, integrating with tools like Chef, Puppet, and Ansible. Makes it a whole lot less, clicky. If you want to see it in action, be sure to check out my next video where I'm going to demonstrate Solace's multi-protocol capabilities using the event mesh that we just made. If you found this video useful, please give it a like. If you have a question for me, leave it as a comment. I'll get back to you. Subscribe to our channel, and thanks for watching.